Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a general collective tarot oracle reading. This is for the middle 10 days of July. And Pisces, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Pisces, we all have a little bit of Pisces in us somewhere. If you have your birth chart, what house is Pisces in? That's where this energy is most likely to show up for you the most prominently. Also, this is a timely reading. So if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time. But if it has been a little while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that may give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, we have for the underlying energy for the reading, we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is talking about some sort of information and communication of some sort coming in. And we do have, this is the element of air. So it's about thoughts. It's about, the sword represents mental intelligence, discipline of the mind. The pages would work for the king and queen at a very young age, 7 to 14. And this, that sounds really young, but back in those days, the life expectancy was half of what it is now. If they were doing a good job, they might be there still when they're an adult. When they're 21, they might even be considered for knighthood if they can afford their own horse. So this energy is talking about some sort of communication coming in, and it can be an indication that it could be regarding something that happened when you were at that stage of life, like maybe in elementary school, high school. It could be just before you were starting, when you were starting college, getting out in the workforce. So it could be like some information coming in, that something that happened during that time frame, or maybe someone that you met back then that you haven't seen for a while. We do have Mercury in retrograde right now. Mercury is in retrograde in the sign of Cancer. And so it's not uncommon for people to show up from your, past people, especially if you have unresolved, energy with them. Like maybe you haven't had closure on something, that sometimes Mercury retrograde really does attract that type of energy. And also Mercury retrograde is talking about communication issues. And so it's sometimes you'll have technical difficulties are not that uncommon during Mercury retrograde, or just simple things like you say something and someone takes it the wrong way than what you meant it, or vice versa. So be aware of that when you're communicating at this time with Mercury in retrograde. Also, this energy could be just like where you have an epiphany, and it comes from within, and you're like, aha, I've got it. That's what I was thinking about, and that's the perfect solution to my problem. It can be that sort of thing, or it can also be information coming in the many ways that we have now. So you wouldn't be expecting a page to show up at your door for this energy. In the old days, this would always be a mail, and it would always be in person because that was their only option. But just keep in mind that characters in tarot are actually not gender specific. So this could be a female in her masculine energy as well. So just, this could be something from that time frame when you were under the age of 21. Or sometimes it could be someone that you haven't seen for 7 years, 14 years, 21 years, but that you knew back, from when you were young. So the information could be coming in as a telephone call, a text message. You might get something in the mail, or you might get an email. Possibly you're on social media and get messaged, or you see an event posted. And then if you attend the event, maybe then you meet someone in person and they have the exact information that you're looking for. And so that's kind of the energy of the pages in general. Now this, he is the only one that's not looking at his element, because he already knows what the logical question is. He wants to see if he can think outside the box, use his intuition, and find a creative solution to the problem. So that's the underlying energy for the reading, is wanting to find a creative solution to something that's happening, maybe that is slowing you down, or you need a specific piece of information. This can be like a breath of fresh air. You know, it's like that fresh energy, someone who's enthusiastic and isn't worn down from overthinking. And then for the underlying energy for the internal forces, that's the cards that are in the lower part of this spread. Your internal forces are coming like from within you. And this is saying that you may have been through a bit of a storm here. Like there could be something going on here that you've been having to deal with, because sometimes this represents, you know, how rainbows come out after a storm. And this is like 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is like ultimate fulfillment. It's like having all the love you can in your life, you know, having the partner and the companion that you love and the children, living in a place that you love with your neighbors and you enjoy that, and you have, you know, you love your career, and, you know, you're really enjoying your clients and the peers that you work with. You have a lovely life. And so this is kind of like after a storm, you know, the rainbow comes out. This could be saying you might be in the storm part now. So just realize that there will be better times coming forward. And especially if you are in this, remember, you know, to communicate clearly at this time with Mercury in retrograde. And then we have Temperance, and Temperance is talking about, you know, really being patient and being not getting angry, or, you know, giving into emotions that are not going to support you in what you want to do. This is about having the patience to stay on your destined path, your path of glory. The sun at the top of the hill there represents that's your destined path, and that represents God's energy. In the Bible, it says that God sends 144,000 chosen, and a lot of people feel that these are earth angels down to earth to make the world a better place. And this is just a lot of people feel that's what this card represents, is earth angel energy. You know, pouring her own chemistry here, and then adding that to the universal pool. She's got her right foot in the water, and then look at where she has her left foot. There's already beautiful flowers growing. So it's talking about doing your best to stay on your destined path, and having a good attitude, you know, being patient, and, you know, not giving into anger, and, you know, being belligerent, and, you know, making things difficult for other people, that type of energy. Adding beauty to the planet. And this is talking about the soulmate coming in. So this is how you see yourself right now, that you're in this calm, patient energy. You feel like you're on your destined path, and that you're doing the best you can to be the best version of you. And that's about what more can you do, right? And then this is talking about a soulmate coming in. When we're in this energy and we're patient and we're on our destined path, and we've learned how to, like, you know, discipline our mind, and, you know, rein in our emotions when necessary. It's not saying don't feel your emotions. It's saying don't let them rule over you and make, you know, poor decisions because you're in an emotional state. And then a few hours later, you regret what you did. It's an impulsive energy. So this is talking about a soulmate energy coming through. This is like a contract between two people. They're toasting each other. And the thing about this is each of them are very balanced in their masculine and feminine energies already. And so when they come together, they're not completing each other. They're like totally able to be out on their own. They're both on their destined paths, and they could be very different. But and you know, they enjoy each other's company, and quite often the soulmates will be like really different from someone that you would normally date if this is a romantic partner that comes through. And but like, it's kind of like you'll maybe come from different cultures and have totally different types of careers or whatever. But when you get to talking, you really understand each other because you've had similar life experiences. And this is also talking about having a very strong connection with the divine and with, you know, like the higher self network, HSN. That's what I refer to it as. The higher self network is when you have you're in connection with Source, with God, and you are getting, able to tune into that with your intuition and through prayer and meditation, so that you're making strong decisions based on that. And this actually is the sign of Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in charge of communication. And as I said, Mercury is retrograde. So remember again, there's a lot of energy saying, watch your communication. Don't recognize that there could be, like, people could take what you say wrong. You might have to say things twice. You might have to double check and information, that sort of thing. And then we have the pre-Empress energy. So this is abundance. I feel like when the soulmate comes in, it's pretty good for you. This is the Nine of Pentacles. Mind you, this energy is talking about your early communication in life. You might be like a trust child, a trust fund child. This is talking about multimillionaire energy, like if you're looking at from the money perspective. The pre-Empress energy is... there's the Empress is in the major arcana in tarot, and then there's 4 queens in the minor arcana. And the pre-Empress energy is saying that you almost have all the qualities of all 4 queens wrapped into one person, because you've had enough hardships to be in that energy. So this is talking about an energy of having learned quite a lot already in life. Maybe when you were younger, you might be from a family that is rather well off, or this is representing lifestyle. You could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want. So the Pentacle energy is talking about lifestyle as well as coin. Of course, in the 3D world, you need to have money to be able to be happy and wealthy. And, the Pentacle energy does represent the element of earth. So it's about earthly matters in the 3D. This card always reminds me of Nikola Tesla, the famous inventor and genius. He would say, if you knew the beauty of the 369, that you would have the key to the universe. And I feel that's what this falcon is representing here. Having the foresight to understand how much time, money, and energy are you going to invest in any given project, in any person, in whatever it is that you're doing. And is it going to be a fair exchange of energy? The pre-Empress energy has learned a lot throughout, from life experience here, about how to, about how important it is to look after yourself first, in that you need to make sure that you have enough for yourself, or you won't be able to give to anyone else. You won't be in a position to. So I feel like Nicola was talking about the ratio here. And so she's got her hand on the 6 pentacles here, and she knows, okay, this is what I need to support my household and my business. And this is maybe a little extra in case something breaks down, there's an emergency. And then this energy here, the 3, one might be charity, another could be a more risky investment to increase her financial portfolio and investing that because she can afford to do so. And then if it doesn't work out, it's not going to affect her ability to pay her bills. And maybe another is just for saving up for a vacation for the family or something like that. So you may have been taught at a young age how to deal with money and how to work with money. Then we also have the Emperor here. So this could be talking, maybe you've already met each other, and this is because Empress and Emperor status is talking about a divine couple for sure. And but not necessarily. Sometimes this could be like, this is an authority figure, and just sitting here, and because this is in your childhood communication, this energy could represent, maybe a parent energy, and it could represent, the Emperor is alpha male energy, very high level performance. He wears his armor underneath his robe, like he's ready to grab an opportunity at a moment's notice. And if he has to fight for what is his, he will do so. But he knows he's an alpha male. he doesn't fight for no reason. And beta males rarely approach him because they know that they've seen him clean other beta males' clocks that, you know, come and approach him. The thing about the Emperor energy, sometimes it can be a little bit self-controlling, or quite a bit that way. It's like my way or the highway energy. So this could have been like this could be representing, like this is your emotional state now, but you may have been raised by, like, when, you know, by like your dad, when he said, this is the law, this is the law. you didn't question it, you know. But why? Because I said so. That's why. I feel like it could be a little bit that energy, or this could be a couple. It's hard to say. This is, you know, be different for different people, but it is saying that you were maybe raised by someone and that is affected your emotional state of who you are now, because this is the house of Cancer, the fourth house, and this is talking about that's what the moon is in. The moon is, the new moon is on July 14th. It's in the house of Cancer. And Mercury also, when it went retrograde, it landed up in Cancer as well. So this house is talking about your domestic life now, like how, you know, your personal goals. And it's also talking about, like, is your domestic life very similar to your public or your career and reputation energy? Like, when you're out in public, are you a lot the same as you are at home? Or are you a different person when you're at work than you are at home? And so it can talk about, definitely there could be maybe hidden secrets or illusions coming out around your hidden, you know, your personal life, and maybe it's affecting your career and reputation. When there's a new moon or a full moon, the sign that's opposing that across the wheel on the horoscope, and this is Capricorn. Capricorn's all about career, reputation, your public image, and it's kind of like there can be a discrepancy here. So there could be some energy coming up around that. And with Mercury in retrograde, it could be like, remember, with the communication maybe going a little haywire, and people being a little more emotional. The sign of Cancer is ruled by the moon as well. So Cancer moons tend to be quite emotional in general, just because of that. Like, they've got the moon on top of the moon, if that makes sense to you. And then we have this energy here of, you know, this is talking about, I don't know, your energy. Like, it could be two different ways. Now, you could feel that you have some energy coming towards you where someone is like really coming at you. Like, this is talking about outer conflict coming towards you, or you could be creating that outer conflict for someone else. It just depends on your energy here. Maybe you're arguing with your dad, you know, about, you know, maybe you met this person and you want to go on a date and your dad's saying no, and you're 25 and you're like, come on, Dad. It could be that type of energy, but this quite often represents there's some sort of conflicting energy coming towards you, and it could be very cutthroat. You know, we have, like, look how jagged the clouds are, and if this is you, you've already had to fight off two people and they've laid down their swords. And this could be like this energy if you're the Emperor, and you could be the Emperor. This could be maybe you have a child that's is defying you or something like that. I don't know. There's something around that. And so this is talking about, you know, fighting and saying, you know, like this energy coming towards you is a risk it all kind of energy. It's cutthroat. They're willing to risk everything to win. Or this could be in the energy. It's not uncommon for the Emperor to take on that attitude if it is something that's important for them at that time. So you would know, you would have a better idea of what this is possibly. This can also talk about inner conflict within, because this is an internal, like, this is about your internal forces. So sometimes this can represent like three versions of you, and whether you're this energy or this energy, it could, or that, you know, it might be your, you know, there's quite a few energies here, but these are different aspects, I feel, of yourself. And this energy could be talking about you know, 3 different versions of you, your subconscious mind, and that's the mind that is formed by the time you're about 6. And you know, we don't really remember very much from when we were like under kindergarten age, especially when we're a baby. Most people don't remember anything of that too much. But it's heavily imprinted on us because babies are like sponges and we absorb our environment at such a high level. So the people that are in charge of your care, the subconscious mind is made up of, you know, the environment they provide for you. So their culture, even the food they eat, you know, the religion they adopt, whatever kind of lifestyle they live, whatever they do for work, you know, however all of that is. And so that's heavily imprinted on us by the time we're in 6. And even when we're an adult, it's when we get in kind of stressful situations, we have a tendency, the subconscious mind is the first one that pops up. But when you think about it, it's really kind of more like the thoughts of the people that were in charge of our care than our own thoughts now. And so it's not necessarily the most reliable. And then we have the unconscious mind, and that could be like, you know, it's your spiritual needs. And so if you consider yourself a human being that has a soul, the soul, from the soul's perspective, is thinking you are a soul that is traveling in a human body. And this is just your vehicle for getting around. And if the soul's needs are not being met, then the soul will start arguing with the subconscious and the conscious mind and cause an inner conflict. And so the conscious mind is what you have a handle on. You know, I just clean these 2 people's clocks, and if you come near me, I'll do the same for you. And so the emperor is not one usually to fight. He only fights if he has to. So I don't feel the risk it all energy so much as coming from you, but I feel that the energy of, you know, the inner conflict being caused by the outer conflict could be a thing. So if you can get your mind quiet and working together and then plug that into your heart, then you're going to be going after your authentic desires. And that's when that's why the emperor is such high level performance, because he doesn't waste his time with a bunch of bullshit. He's like, you know, if I have to clean your clock, I'll clean your clock, and if I don't, I won't. But and this is also, we have the King of Swords here, so there's a lot of characters in your internal forces here. So there could be a lot of influences in your life, possibly. This represents, the King of Swords is representing someone that is, you know, an authority figure as well. You know, someone that is well educated and that would use their words to earn their living, not like doing physical hard labor, you know, that type of work. This could be, we have a king here, so this could be, you know, someone in politics, like in government, prime minister, president, Congress, Senate. This could be ministers in the federal government, you know, in the provincial government, people that are higher up that have clout, and they use their words to earn their living. So speaking engagements and also speaking in the House of Parliament, etc., and making the laws and the rules. This also quite often represents a lawyer energy and the court system. So this could be a judge, someone maybe that is a head prosecutor. This would be, if this is a lawyer, most likely it would be a lawyer that is a partner in a prestigious firm, someone that's higher up. This can also represent, you know, surgeon, dentist, veterinarian, psychiatrist, educated people. This could be someone who's doing research and maybe even engineer type energy, patents, that sort of thing. And maybe even a best-selling author in the New York Times bestseller list. So it's not someone who's very good with their words. The King of Swords understands that words can be used as weapons, and they can also be used to uplift people. And they're good with their words. So that's, and also the other thing that the King of Swords is very much aware of is that if you give your word and then you don't follow it up with action, your word becomes useless. Actions do speak louder than words. So this is the internal forces. So I feel like this is talking about your emotional state now is that, like, I feel like if you're at emperor status, and this could even maybe then represent someone maybe that you're interested in, that you're together with now. And there could be some conflict coming from outside, and maybe you've had to, it's something that you needed to hire a lawyer or get some expertise advice in that way to deal with it. We'll keep going and seeing. We did have the page showing up here of swords to begin with. I mean, this could be something going all the way back to when you were young. We'll see. Well, let's look at the external forces. So the external forces, the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is talking about the element of fire. And so it's the element of fire. We have wood wands, and wood fuels the fire. So it represents taking passionate action. It's interesting because in this card, quite like this person is standing on the precipice of change. And they're standing here looking into the distance. And it's talking about, like, this is water. It looks kind of like it's a desert or sand or something, but it's because the sun is shining on it. And there's ships sailing by. And this person's thinking, I'd like to go on an adventure. I'd like to expand my horizons. I would like to maybe go to distant shores. Sometimes this can represent wanting to move or, relocate. Sometimes it could be talking about expanding your business, something you're passionate, your work, or doing something with your work in a passionate way. And it can also talk about walking through a portal and becoming a couple and moving forward as one. Or sometimes it can talk about being in a couple and leaving the couple and moving forward as a single person. But I feel like with this energy here, this could be representing some sort of new energy coming in. And maybe you're wanting to expand your family. You're passionate with someone and you want to maybe start a family with them or something like that. And if it's not about that, it could be about business. Whoops, why am I grabbing this card here? I meant to be grabbing these ones. All right, we have, okay, so this is talking about this type of energy here. We have the Four of Wands. It's talking about having, this can be like a new foundation. This is quite often considered the official marriage card of tarot. So with these other cards here, it could represent an energy of, expansion in that way. This is in your position of partnerships, marriage, and commitments, but it also could represent a business partner or a commitment of some other sort. I mean, the soulmates don't have to be romantic. They can be, the soulmate energy could be about someone that really loves to see you do well in your projects, and they're willing to support you in it. This card, quite often, if it is regarding marriage, it's basically saying that, you have the down payment for your castle, but you're still going to have to make the mortgage payments. And, the question was popped. The answer is yes from both parties. And now you're planning the wedding, but then you're going to have to put some work into the actual marriage. So this is in external force coming towards you. That I feel that's what this is, maybe wanting to offer you this a cup of love. And then we have, look at that, there we have the cup of love. And this is God saying, yes, this is from God, this is divine. It's someone new coming into your life. And I feel it's the soulmate energy. And this is how you see yourself. So this energy, this is about your daily routine habits and stuff. You might have just been through some sort of a divorce and left a relationship and are now, maybe it's been a while, and now you are looking for your Empress. It could be that type of energy. I'm reading, there's a bunch of different scenarios. So remember to just take what works for you and leave the rest. This is talking about an overflowing love, like a replenishing one that keeps on flowing. We have this peace dove here saying it's a peaceful relationship, someone that will actually empower you to move forward in life. And if it sometimes can represent an energy after difficulty in love, having or in partnerships or commitments, that this one will be a solid one that will really benefit you and the other person. And it's been ordained, like it's heaven sent, basically. We have the card of reconciliation coming in here. So this is kind of interesting. This card's been coming up a lot, and that again is because of the Mercury retrograde energy, I feel. This is talking about, there could be hidden illusions from your childhood here. Maybe you and your parents didn't get along or something when you were younger, and it's affected the way you are now. You know how if someone's really like, I feel if that's the case, this could be like also like an emperor energy, really like ambitious from a young age, and really confident, kind of, how people refer to as an old soul. It could also represent that there was maybe hidden illusions or secrets in your childhood. And again, remember what I said about the page of swords here, that the pages, when they come in, it could represent energy going back to when you were younger. So we have two cards now saying that. I mean, if there's reconciliation with someone from your past, that would imply that you would need to forgive for something, to be reconciling, or it could just represent a reunion. Sometimes it represents people coming back from your past, maybe that you had a previous relationship with, and they've heard, oh, whoa, there's some new energy coming in. I've got to stop that because they're used to you taking them back, or that type of energy. This card has a lot of allusions to it, because when you first look at it, you see like, oh, there's two children, they're playing with these cups and flowers, and then you look again and you go, wait a minute, that's a gnome, and that's a little woman, and from the back she looks like an old hag, but from the front she looks like a young woman. And the old hag is saying, we don't want your stupid flowers, like, go away. She's not going to be bothered to explain herself or be nice about it. And the younger version is like people pleasing. Oh, that's so kind of you, but we have our white gloves on and we don't want to get our hands dirty. And she's explaining herself. And the old hag's getting pissed off, like, let's get going. It's that type of energy. And so this is saying, if someone comes into your life that things didn't work out with, again, are you going to take them back? Because when this love comes in, this new love coming in is an ace, and it's from God as a new beginning. So this wouldn't be someone that you already had a relationship with in an intimate way, like as a significant other, but it could be someone from your past, maybe that you haven't seen in a very long time, and you run into each other. Maybe you go home to visit family or whatever, and they are also. And then and remember I said it could be, and it could maybe be someone you haven't seen for 7 years, 14 years, 21 years, that type of thing. Now, the white flowers here are also an illusion, because white flowers in tarot represent innocence, but these are datra. This is from the nightshade family, and datra, it could make children very sick if they were to ingest it, and pets. You wouldn't have children playing with this plant, and you wouldn't plant it in your yard and have it around if you have children and pets. It could make them sick. And so sometimes those shamans will use datra to create visions in their ceremonies so that you can heal your inner child energy. So it's again talking about illusions. And even the person in the background here that looked like they were watching over the children is just some stranger walking down the path. So the whole thing, it could be saying you might have some illusions that are coming up in your childhood, from your childhood, and there could be some like conflicting information coming in. There could be something going on there with that. This is in higher learning. And then we have the energy of the Eight of Swords. So yeah, it's like this is causing you some mental distress. This is talking like about feeling like you're in a mental prison. Quite often this card, like this person's all bound up. This card's been coming up a lot in the readings. And I just feel like in great part, it's the world is kind of like a wild place right now. And a lot of people are feeling kind of like, what do we do? There's so much change. There's so much shift going on. But this can be about having to make a decision and having a challenge making it. Sometimes it could be like you feel duty bound to make it, but you can't find the right decision because it involves people you care about, and you don't want to hurt anyone, but you know you have to do something. And sometimes this blindfold could represent you don't want to see it, like you just don't want to have to deal with it. Or it could be like you can't see the solution. But I feel that, at the beginning there was more water here, so there was way more emotion. Water in tarot represents emotion. And it feels like, and even like, look at here, this is ground, but it looks like this ground is moving. So I feel like she does have her right foot forward now, and it's standing on firm ground. And but the left foot is still in that puddle. It's almost exactly opposite of this energy. Like this is about like overthinking something. But I do feel that there is way more water here, and it's dissipating now. And you're getting clearer and clearer. But this is someone coming, the energy is coming from outside of you. So this could be, let's just finish if this is your energy, how you're feeling about what's happening coming towards you. This could be like, okay, you've put these 7 thoughts behind you and you've decided this is the one that I'm going with. I'm going to take that next step, grab this sword, cut the bindings, get myself out of here. There's nothing really holding this person back. But you notice that the castle's in the background and she has her back to it. Now this could be thoughts that people from outside, from the external forces, are directing your way, and it's causing you to be in this energy. So just take it how it works for you. This is in your career and reputation. So maybe people are talking about you behind your back, and that is affecting your 4th house, like your domestic life. Your domestic life, maybe something happening in your domestic life is affecting your career and reputation. And then we have the 3 of Cups. Yeah, this card I feel is definitely talking about gossip and slander coming towards you. This is about a harvest for a lot of readers. Read it this way. I don't enjoy this card that much. I feel like this is quite often, like this is about love. The cups represent love. And why is there 3 cups when there should be 2? And look this is how you toast someone when you are intimate with them and you care about them and you're happy for them. These 3 are just, they're toasting, but they're not looking at each other. So they're actually toasting something that happened or an outcome. They're not toasting you. This is coming an external force from outside. And if there has been a third-party energy in a relationship that has caused disappointment, or there's something going on here with that, or a partner in business that was collaborating with others or something like that, this can sometimes represent the gossip, the slander, and all of that type of energy, because we have that in your career and reputation. And sometimes it's your domestic life causes that in your career and reputation. So something I feel is like a little bit off. They could be this energy. The thing is in many cultures, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, in Europe they'll freak out on you because they have a very deep superstition that it causes 7 years bad luck in your love life. So they'll be saying, look me in the eye, because it doesn't just cause the bad luck for you, it does for them as well. So I just, we'll see. But I feel like that's quite often it can talk about external energy coming in that's causing stress almost, that type of feeling. With the cards here as well. Now we have a major transition happening. So a lot of people are afraid of this card when it comes in, but it's actually very, very seldom would it actually represent a physical death. This is talking about a cycle ending. So I feel like any stressful energy from your past that has been affecting your love life and maybe your partnerships, your commitments, and like that, that maybe you're going to come to some resolution with that energy, and the inner conflict will be solved. And sometimes I feel like this could be talking about a third-party energy with this. Sometimes this quite often can represent a divorce lawyer, and then maybe you walking away from a relationship to marry someone else that comes through. It could be a lot of things. So you just remember to take what works for you, leave the rest. And this is light at the end of the tunnel, though. So if you've been going through a real difficult time in this way, there's a lot of promise here for good things coming your way. We have the Grim Reaper is coming in town with change, and it's talking about death and rebirth. The older person doesn't want the change, but the two young ones here are like, woohoo! And one of them even has a flower, and it's talking about the bloom of new life coming through. And it could even be talking about maybe starting a family and maybe, sometimes when we, if we get pregnant or we impregnate someone and we're starting a family, boy, it can really, especially with your first child, it can really bring up a lot of issues from the past, like when, because of being a parent for the first time, it can bring up a lot in general, like when your children are young. It can jog memories of when you were that age. It'll be like, like when your child, if you had a negative experience starting kindergarten, you might, when your child goes to kindergarten, if they cry, it might bring that energy back, to you. So it's just talking also about the old ways of doing things are having to change these days. This can talk about transitions in, this card itself can sometimes talk about moving, actually changing location, and even sometimes to another country overseas or some sort of energy like that. So there is some transition coming in here for sure. And whatever is happening, though, this is hidden secrets and that coming out. I feel this is different energy for different people, and it's also talking about past, present, future for different people. So this, take it how it works for you. Just knowing that whatever's going on here, the best thing you can do is remain calm and recognize that communication might be a little off, and that might be the reason why you're having difficulty with something. Or, you could be making a big transition in your life, like having a baby or whatever. It's a positive thing, but it brings up emotions sometimes from that you didn't even know, like, oh man, I didn't even know I was still upset about that. That's that type of energy. I'm going to clarify this for those that want clarification. If you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy, and also for your likes and comments and your subscribes. I really, really appreciate it. It's empowering me to build my channel. I'm going to clarify with my oracle, Tales from the Vector, and this is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. The underlying energy, the numbers on these cards represent the paintings in this oracle, in how they're listed in my gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. And so I will put them in the order they appear here, and then you'll know where to find them in the website, if in the gallery, if you're interested. They say a picture paints 1,000 words. It might give you further clarity. All right, so we have a karmic space of the need to be right. And so this is saying, do you have to be right every single time to be happy? No. And if you have to be right all the time, then it could mean that others always have to be wrong around you. And so that's not much fun for people. So what it's basically saying is, be like the emperor who, when he needs to be right, he's right, but he's not going to get into battles that stress him out over nothing. Like if it's not worth it getting up out of his chair, he's not going to bother. And so this can sometimes be about making mountains out of molehills, and sometimes about making molehills out of mountains. Know when to be right, and know when it's worth fighting to be right, and when it doesn't really matter. And then there's destruction here. Like this is kind of like a tactic being used. It can talk about sometimes people don't like to see other people happy. It's unfortunate, it's sad. Maybe people are jealous or whatever. You might have experienced something like that when you were a child more, I feel like, because I feel like it's this reconciliation of your childhood. I really am getting the feeling that there might be a baby coming in here at some point, or you're deciding to do that. And then it really gets us thinking, wow, if I get married and have children, like how is that going to change me? And what kind of a parent will I be? And I'm not going to be like my parents were. And then you find out, yeah, you probably will, unless you work very hard not to be. And so disruption, because of that subconscious mind. So disruption, of your inner peace, basically, disruption of your path. That's the energy you're in. I feel like there's people around you that are maybe trying to disrupt your peace, but you're not. You're determined to stay temperate. You're not going to get yourself all worked up. You're not, like, maybe in the past you've gotten involved, and then and then you're upset too, and you're like, nope, no, no, no. I've learned my lessons. I'm not doing that. And then the road to hell is paved with good intentions. This is talking about karmic space of intent. Like, you could have really good intentions. Like, even say, like, this is a situation where you're separating or getting divorced. This card's been coming up a lot, and it's saying, like, maybe when you were too young or something, and you didn't realize the huge responsibility that it is to be married, to make a promise like that to someone. It's huge. And there's a lot of it's a legally binding contract that it can be a lot of work to get in and out of. And so this is talking about that. Like, maybe you weren't mature enough, and neither one of you were. It can be talking about that type of energy. You had good intentions, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And so it's a karmic space that we can fall into when we think we have good intentions, and then what our actions don't turn out the way we thought they were going to. And we have the star energy. So this is talking about that you were born to shine. You were born to be happy and be a beautiful person. It's sitting right on your energy. It can also, this could be this soulmate energy, and it makes sense. This would be a power couple then. You also, this can, at the same time, it can also represent how you were raised, and maybe really being able to understand each other. Maybe you had maybe different cultures, different religions, but similar parents in a way, if it makes sense. Lack of awareness. Never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. So that's the energy, like, of when you don't want to see your partners in a bad light. You don't want to have to make decisions that might be negative for your family, for people that you care about. You maybe feel uncomfortable leaving your hometown or whatever and expanding your horizons, but your partner is determined to do so. It can be that kind of energy. And look, we have transition on this energy, so that's really good to see. It's saying that whatever this outer conflict and all of that is happening, is dissipating along with that energy. I feel it's as you kind of get in that energy where you don't fall for it anymore. I'm not getting myself worked up about shift that I don't have to. I'm going to be more like the emperor. I'll get up out of my chair if I have to. My dad used to say, "Do I have to get up out of my chair? Can he be like comfortable in his chair?" And we're like, "No, you don't have to get up, Dad, and we'll listen." Dissemination of information. Elephant. What elephant? There's an elephant in the room, but nobody wants to see it. And maybe you're the one who calls it, and then, people don't like it, or maybe you don't want to see it as well. And this is talking about believing in your own press. And sometimes, when people want to motivate someone, quite often they say, "Oh, you have to believe in yourself." But, sometimes most people actually have limiting beliefs about what they can accomplish. So it's not always the best thing to believe in yourself. Sometimes you're better off just, recognizing. And also this is about that Mercury in retrograde, maybe, and information being scrambled. We have foolhardy. So I feel like this is, you're moving into some really good energy coming through here, a lot of expansion. And I do feel like it could be like anticipating starting a family and that type of energy. The Empress is considered to be pregnant with possibility. So quite often the pre-Empress wouldn't be pregnant, but the Empress might. And then the Taurus energy is learning that give and take in life. And this is I feel this is saying that you've learned a lot about how much to invest of yourself in other people and how much to keep for yourself. think you understand that you have to look after yourself or you'll get drained. Some people will just keep taking and taking, you know. And of course, if you have toddlers, they're going to take and take. But if you ask a toddler to share, they could be the most loving individual in the world, but they can throw a fit and temper tantrum, you know, like a bull in a china shop, if you've ever seen that at the checkouts. And we have Scorpio energy. This is talking about being able to unite. I feel like it's this energy, like people that are, elevated to a certain vibration that they attract. You finally attract your soulmate, and then everything goes much smoother. It's more about elevating each other than trying to conquer. And I feel like sometimes we tend to do that when we're young and kind of silly, and we maybe thought we could handle the how hard can it be to be married, and how hard can it be to start a business, how hard could it be to I've always loved cooking. How hard is it going to be to start a restaurant? Ooh, it could be pretty hard. There could be some long hours there, right? I want to point out that the energy of the signs coming in, I'm not talking about individual people. I'm talking about the signs. So if they come up in the reading here and you're like, no, that is a Scorpio, that is a Taurus, use your intuition. But I want to learn from each of the signs, because we all have a little bit of each sign in us. There's been some sort of deception, I feel, about your childhood energy. There could be some illusions or whatever from someone in your past. And again, it could be this third party energy that I keep feeling in it may not have been a spouse, but it could have been someone that you were, in a couple with, and then you find out, on top of it, it's like someone close to you, like a best friend or someone, God forbid, from your family. And here you are, as the senior executive Pisces, showing up right here. And when you show up in your own reading, it's saying that you are showing up for yourself. And I feel like if there's been any gossip or slander or whatever, you just shut the people right down, boom, like that. And this is like Pisces is very good at that. Pisces energy is really sensitive to energy, but they're an authority figure as well. Like it's kind of like that emperor energy as well. Like enough of that. We're not going to be talking that way about anyone. It's that type of energy is what I'm picking up. And then we have indifference. So indifference is talking about, when people say, oh, we're all in it together and we all care about each other, but really they want something from you. And that's how life is. So, you have to realize that the hidden secrets and illusions that come about are kind of normal in human life in any case. Our perception from when we were younger and what we were told how things were can be very different from a sibling, like totally different, that lived in the exact same house, So yeah, this is there's a lot of really good energy coming in here. I do hope you've enjoyed this. And I have. This has been a really good reading, Pisces. Thank you for your time and energy, and also again, likes, comments, and your subscribes. I appreciate them all. I'll be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now, Pisces.